When creating a new TouchChat account, I like certain settings, and these are some of the ones that I like. So if you're creating a new copy, first I would create copy of vocab. If you're starting a new app, you don't have to do this, but I would just, make a copy of whichever one you might want. So for me, that's going to be TouchChat WordPower Basic, and I'm going to name it Violet. And save. That one will be available, so now you can look for, I have too many, but you can look for Violet and open it up. And these are the things I currently have, but pretend it's just like a general new opening one. Even if you're airdropping it, you still have to set up settings every single time. So if it's a new device, if you go to menu in the top right hand corner in settings, these are the settings that I personally like. I always like having a menu passcode on, and so you would, you can type a name, you can type numbers in. Make sure to only turn this on once you're done editing. So for this, I might do 1, 2, 3, 4 or something like that, more complex if needed. I'm not going to turn it on yet because I'm still working on editing. There are some new voices that I really like. Make sure you're connected to internet or Wi-Fi. For a masculine voice, I've really liked Cameron, if I can find them. Cameron might be from another device, but Owen is another really great one. Owen is the one I typically choose for this one. Cameron, I think, is for TD Snap, so ignore that. So I would choose Owen for masculine voice. If it's a feminine voice, they've added a few voices recently, so I'm going to try to find the one I really like. It's always hard because in TouchChat you have to scroll through all of the voices when you're choosing them, which is a little frustrating. As you can see, they give you a ton of choices, which is great, but also can be kind of annoying when you're trying to find a specific one. Ella is the one I used to always use. I've been using, depending on the app, Diana, but I'm not sure if they're here. You can also listen to them. So, for example, Lizzie, I haven't heard that one yet. So you
Hello, my name is Lizzie. I'm one of the Child American English Speech Synthesis Voices from a cappella group.
So I'm going to download
if it's fast and natural sounding, why not let me be your voice?
So I am going to just choose, for this example, I'm just going to choose Owen, if I can go back and find them. So you'll see a little check mark and then it will show Owen. You can change the rate if it's too fast, too slow, same with the pitch, but I haven't usually done that before. I also really love to show icons. So this normally is a small bar at the top for the message bar, but I like to show icons when they're early learners because it'll show the picture in addition to the word, just how they're kind of learning language. Sometimes you can turn off the speech display bar, but I usually don't like doing that unless I have to. For under tap action, speech and enlarged text is a nice one if you want the text to show up. So it'll look like this if you do speech and enlarged text. So if you click
finish, get, finish, get.
Click the message bar at top, it'll show up. So that's like that. If you click that white bar in the top, it's white. It'll show the words, which is really great for kids and people that are reading
finish,
as well.
Open, go finish, open.
And this is really great because it'll stay on the screen until you tap the screen again, and then it will return back. Going back to settings, I also really love highlighting the spoken word depending on if that's important to a family, but I don't always turn that on. The other one the one I do turn on always is auto clear. It's usually off, but I like to have it on immediate, meaning that it'll, like, once it speaks the message in the message bar, it'll just delete it, which is nice versus having like a really long string of things sitting up there. The one I forgot to mention is you're going to want to turn off auto capitalization, especially if you're using a bilingual version, because it'll sometimes mess up the pronunciation. You can keep it on. It's naturally on. When you scroll down, the one I also always like before I give a child a device, I usually turn on release time to about 0.3 or 0.4 seconds, you can always turn this off, but this kind of helps with the overly done go, 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 go. Like when they press a button multiple times before they even get the device, it won't say the word as quickly. It'll kind of have you have a 0.4 second time between button presses. So it's nice to just have that on initially. If you are hiding words, I like to turn off show grid, because that'll kind of just clear up the space. And so when you're hiding words, or even when words are off screen, it'll kind of just have a blank box versus like having the grid as if buttons were included. So you can turn off the grid if that's an important piece for you. Outside of that, I think those are the main things I usually do. Oh, the last one is the button margin. Without a button margin, this is what TouchChat usually looks like. Button margin was added when you add a key guard, which is that plastic piece that covers the screen to help with fine motor things. But I really like doing turning on the button margin to kind of separate the buttons a little bit. You don't have to do it as at 10, but sometimes even having a small button margin can kind of make it look a little nicer. You'll see that the background is kind of gray. The last thing I usually do is go to edit page, and then I go to page style override, and I usually like to turn the background to black, or if they have a different color that they want, black's usually one, and then it changes the way it looks a little bit. And visually this has just been very nice and a lot easier to kind of look at. There's other things I usually do before I give it to the child, but those are the settings that I turn on with every TouchChat WordPower that I usually set up.